You're not wrong, Ludo. You're not wrong. Knight Rider theme did whip. That you are 100% correct on that. Alright, let's find a quick song. Then, I will be back quickly. We will have... Christine, okay. Like... There's a lot to recommend in Christine. Like, I think Carpenter does a much better job in that movie than is given credit for, and I do think the movie is a better movie than it's given credit for, but it is an 80s movie that is aping a lot of 50s aesthetic because it's King, so of course, and it's doesn't there's bits of it, or maybe I'm thinking more of the book, but there's definitely bits of it that are just kind of like, that's uncomfortable in ways that I don't think was 100% intended. But there's some really great FX work in Christine. Like, honestly and seriously, there's some really good work done there. Luda says, I'm pretty sure some 90s rapper also sampled the Knight Rider theme. Yes. Quill, you get head pats from me. I will give you head pats for your restraint. Thank you very much. Alice says the issue with King adaptations is that they're still adapting King. I mean, yes, that's part of it, I think. Also, I think, like, there's a lot of what makes King work is kind of internal discussion that doesn't necessarily translate to film very well. Kronos says, when a hermit crab needs to molt, it needs to discard a shell to find a bigger one. Most hermit crabs molt every 12 to 18 months. I knew that, Kronos, because I love hermit crabs. Kronos says, the most surprising thing about Stephen King to me, personally, is finding out the dude is still alive. Like, money will buy you health. He did cut the drugs, so there's that in his favor, but he was in that massive car accident, so there's that as a point against. But yeah, he's still somehow kicking around. Night Flyer and Dark Half still slap, though, the movies. I haven't seen Dark Half in a long time. I should rewatch that. That's got, Fudge. Oh, wait, no? I'm thinking of a different guy, I think. The guy who plays Alan Pangborn in Needful Things is not the same guy who plays Alan Pangborn in Dark Half, I think. And now I can't remember, like, that actor's name. It's not Ed Asner. It's an Ed, but Ed Harris? Maybe? Why am I even looking this up? I should be taking my break. My favorite Romero. Wait, did Dark Half do... Oh, he did do... I had forgotten all about that. Dangus Dingus. But that's your favorite Romero? Because, I mean... Really? Because there's, like, a lot of good Romero. Dark Half is good. At least in my memory it's good, but it's not like... It's not Dawn of the Dead. Oh my gosh! Michael Rooker played Alan Pangborn in Dark Half. I did not know that. Go Michael Rooker. I kind of like Michael Rooker. Wait. Let me... Quill is also blessing us with a marine fact. Hermit crabs will line up to exchange shells when a larger shell becomes available. They will measure each other and line up from biggest to smallest so everybody can get a shell their size. I love that, Quill. Also, Ludo, my brain just completely stopped. I would love to hear your great news. Please share your great news, but I am going to take a really quick pause to take a break, and then I will read the news when I get back. But I'll be back. Alright, now I'm gonna have my cigarette break while on the microphone so that we could talk. Let me quick check what I missed. It says it is weird that my first experience with Michael Rooker was Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. No, I don't think that's weird at all. Ludo says there's a silly frog track sampling the Knight Rider theme. When you put silly in quotes like that, Ludo, is that like a Pepe thing? Because that sucks. But you said you had great news, and it wasn't great in quotes, so... Oh! The ableist frog. The ableist frog? I am the ableist frog from Sweden? A naked Swedish frog? Okay, look, I guess I am extremely blessed, Ludo, because I've got no idea what the heck anybody is talking about. The only frog meme that I know is the racist one that we don't use. So it may be that has taken up all the frog brain space that I have. I was in Japan by that time. Okay. I mean, okay, so it might have been in the Lacuna before I had internet, but when I was already here. It's a ringtone character. God, this is these are meaningless distinctions to me. I'm not gonna look the thing up. I do appreciate that Ludo did catch the Silent Hill joke. This is let me take a quick check of the name Phantom Strum. This is BC's Little Music Gallery by BicoastalClock. I've gotten some of my show's background music from this gallery. It's all pretty good stuff. Ableist Frog also had a PS2 racing game? What? I may very well do that, Kronos. I would like to play demo again tonight, honestly. Ableist Frog had a hit single. What is this world that I am living in? Oh, this is pretty good. Okay, well, Ableist Frog had the Knight Rider theme, but Ableist Frog is not Racist Frog, so problematic, but in a different way. Gotcha. Knight Rider Frog Remix is a reggaeton track. I love this. Alice says Europeans suffered the most because while America most likely got just already existing songs, Europe had a million clones of Ableist Frog. I hate that. Its cover of Axel F has 3.6 billion views on YouTube. I feel trebly blessed. I feel like somehow I've managed to become like a, I don't know, like a cryptic hipster or something. Ableist Frog was a nudist frog who wanted to exist but was chased by authorities and then became an NFT. I feel like I hate every word in that sentence more than the word that precedes it. And I don't know how that's possible. You're like living in the perfect bubble. I kinda am, Ludo. Sometimes it's real bad, honestly. Sometimes it's like, it's not a life that I'm happy to have, but sometimes it does seem to work out in my favor, and this is like one of them. Ableist Frog is Roadrunner for the internet generation. Why, like, how do you keep on coming up with sentences that are worse than the preceding sentence, Hive? This is a special skill. You managed to hit on a very special skill. And yet all entirely accurate. I do not know Depressed Bread. I only know Annoying Orange by name and nothing else. I do know Pilsy the Squirrel, and Pilsy the Squirrel kinda sucks. So, there's that. Ableist Frog tries to position itself as an anti-establishment rebel, however it is the penultimate expression of our anarcho-capitalist values. In this essay I will. I love that. Is Depressed Bread, I made you a cookie but I ate it? I do not know. That's emo culture! Well, see, Kronos, this is like, you know, it's like it's like the Frozen Caveman Lawyer sketch, except I'm way sexier than Phil Hartman, so, and also not dead. I had a Foamy the Squirrel phase as a teen. I had a very brief Foamy the Squirrel phase as an adult, Quill, so don't look down on yourself too much. And I still, even though there's so many problems with the entire sketch and premise, I do like the Kevorkian scarf. And I still sometimes think of Kevorkian scarf every now and then. Oh, is that the bread? Because I have seen that scene, and I keep on forgetting about that anime, and keep on telling myself I need to watch that anime, and then not doing it. Amityville Toaster is unironically good. It was a web comic on DeviantArt. I was there on the ground floor. They looked like that Breadman anime. Gotcha. Scroll up. Oh. What am I missing? What am I missing? Alice says it's a bread that's very depressed and talks about hating life, and it was a mascot for a kid's TV show. That's a whole set of, like, words that I didn't expect to read today, Alice. But thank you. Thank you for bringing that into my life, because I kind of love that. That does seem like a big thing with a lot of anime chronos, is that if they don't hit it big enough, then you don't get the full story. The Foamy the Squirrel guy is absolutely a bigot and a right-wing loser. Sorry my voice is weird, I'm fixing my hair. Yeah, I'd read about that, Quill, and honestly, like, you could see it in the post. I'm trying to remember when I stopped caring enough to keep up. I think it was still kind of in early days, but already it was like, this is pretty iffy. And I can only imagine it got worse from there. Ludo says, I think you should have channel points so we can pay them to make you scroll up. That's... If I could do the channel points, then I would, but I can't because I can't actually set up my account for monetization. So, like, I've got... This is funny because this is the second time I've made affiliate. Like, I've checked all the boxes for affiliate, and I still can't do it because I can't monetize the channel. It's hilarious. But let me, let's see, Quill says the Black Squirrel was a dead giveaway, but I did talk to that guy through DMs when I was 16, and yeah, right-wing loser. I don't think I made it to the Black Squirrel, which is probably for the best. Is there just a way to make Twitch chat less easy too? Not sure. Hive, you're not wrong about the dirty foreign drug money or the dirty foreign support North Korea money. It's like one of those. I'd always buy illegal substances over Twitch subs. I mean, you know, yeah. Alice, unfortunately not really. Like, I can click on a user and look at chat history, so I don't necessarily, like, have to scroll up that far. I always just kind of forget that it's a thing that I can do. And Kronos has reminded me at least 3 times that I can do that thing. So this is not Kronos' fault. This is totally on me. You don't want to know about him. Given what I was already feeling about Foamy the Squirrel when I dropped off, combined with what you've said about them actually being a right-wing douchebag, adding those 2 points together, I can definitely say that I don't want to know anything about the Black Squirrel. Ludo says, I think you're going to rest easier with just accepting. Risa won't read every single message, Alice. That's how I do it. I mean... But if it is something that's, like, kind of connected to something I'm responding to, I think it's fair to just say, or to ask at least for me to scroll up. But yeah, sometimes I do miss stuff. He's both super racist and ableist. That's gross. That's really gross. What was I gonna say? Okay, but before we go back to levels, so this thing that happened today. I gotta tell you all about this thing that happened today, because this was a thing that happened, okay? So I needed to requisition some stuff, but I was kind of busy today. But the stuff was necessary, because my razors were all like... I didn't have any good razors, and then it turns my face into worse face than it normally is. But, so, like... You're okay, Alice, don't worry. Don't worry, like, you're fine. I do need to scroll up sometimes, but so, and I was like, but I got this other stuff I got to do today, so I'm just going to go to the closest place that I could requisition from, which is the place I used to work at. And I went there, walked down. It was a nice day. It was a beautiful day out today. I got to the shop, and I got, like, stopped by no fewer than 3 people I used to work with, who all kind of ganged up on me and were like, you have to come back and work here again. Yeah, I'm gonna co-sign and undersign what Hive has said. But they're like, you have to come back and work here again. Like, we need somebody here. The customers liked you and asked where you went when you disappeared and were disappointed that you were gone. They're like, the old boss is gone, and they're gonna the company lets people do whatever they want with their hair now. Which now the person who was selling that particular point, she was like, look, I changed my hair. And she changed her hair to like light brown. And I just wanted to be like, oh honey, sit down before you get winded. But like, but I don't know if you can do whatever you want with your hair, like extends to hot pink or like blue. But yes, Kronos, but more. This is like exponentially more, because like I was actually in the shop and they kept on coming up to me. And so I couldn't leave. I had stuff in my bag. I needed to go. I couldn't actually leave without making an appointment for a job interview. So, like, apparently I got a job interview with the Penguin on Monday. Donkey wants me back in the worst way. Like, it's I don't know. I feel like lots of ways about it, because okay, positive points. I would get more hours. And I definitely need the money. Oh, we didn't even talk about HRT stuff. Maybe we'll do that on the next break. But like, I definitely need money. And this would be more hours, it would be more money. It's closer to where I live, so it's like walkable distance, even if I leave the house late. Wouldn't need to worry about a train unless it's like pouring rain. So that's like, that's a point in favor, definitely. I wouldn't smell like grease all the time, which is a huge point in favor. People are at least likely to wear masks, although that was the reason I left the last time. But it's like, not like this job where the job requires them to not wear masks. The customers, that is. So that's there too. But like on the other side, it's a dead boring job and it gives me way too much time in my own head. That wasn't great the last time around. I've got like a pretty good working relationship with the people that I work with right now. So there's that. And Shin Okubo is way more interesting to have to spend time in than Ogikubo. Like, Shin Okubo is actually pretty cool. But, like, more hours means more money, more convenient schedule. I could go out after work without needing to shower first. I could wear my own clothes to work. Like, I could wear skirts and dresses to work, even if I have to change into a uniform, because I know that they won't stink when I leave work. So I could do my nails. I did stream yesterday. How will you ever handle another person telling you that you made them feel bad for not wearing a mask? I mean, you know, there's that. There's that. Alice says, with the Batman villain and his co-owner, Dom Quixote. Oh my god. Des, we wrapped up Mackerel yesterday, actually. Or at least we wrapped up as much as I'm going to do on stream. We beat the final boss. We did a little bit of the post-game content. It was fun. So, I don't know. Like, now, like, all these folks I've been talking to have been pushing me to come back, but I haven't met the new boss of that shop, and it is certainly possible that I could still scotch the interview. Like, that is a possibility. But I do have a job now, so it's like, I kind of win either way. Did you ace Saba yesterday, Des? Shaking my head. Don Quixote couldn't figure out a windmill wasn't a dragon, and now he's teaming up with the penguin to make stores in Japan. Yeah, and making bank, Alice, and apparently being one of the better queer-friendly places to work in Japan. So there's that. Des says, I spoke to the lead accessibility and technology director at Microsoft. Holy dogs. You're moving up in the world, Des. Luda says there's a banging 80s disco track from Spain called Don Quixote by Magazine 60, and I thought everyone should check it out. Well, let's just put that into the YouTube so I don't forget. So that was weird. I did successfully requisition my stuff, and we could be moving into a... We conceivably could be moving into a more money life, which would be nice. Magazine 60. Don Quixote. Is it a song about quiche? Because I've never had quiche, honestly. But that was my thing. That was kind of my big news. I don't know where that's gonna head, but hopefully it, like, I think if I do end up going back to Don Quixote, like, I don't think that it would affect our streaming schedule at all. Because I think the shifts were like... Well, they were like 8 to 5, I think. So that would still be like fine for us. Des says, well, we managed to get him to attend a webinar on accessibility. Took months to get him. And he loved my questions about their products and what they cannot do and other issues. I'm like, it's me again, Des from the web team. I love that for you, Des. That is pretty slick. All right, I have said my story, and we've been sitting without games long enough. So let's get back to the games. And by games, I mean levels.